When we are building the integrations using projects in Oracle integration instance, we might come across a scenario wherein we have to share the similar connection between multiple projects. When we are building the connections using the global integrations using the design, we will create a connection once and we will consume the same connection in multiple integrations because all the integrations in the global integrations can make use of the connections which we create in the global connections. But in the case of project, if we go into this project which we created earlier, I created one connection over here and it could be used only within that particular integration. Now we'll see how we can create a common connection. While we are working in the projects, all the common connections like the trigger REST connection or the ERP connection, if they are meant to be reused between multiple integrations, then what we usually do is we create a common project over here with the name common components or the artifacts. I will name this as common components, and we will usually allow everyone to edit, view and monitor this project, because if we check mark this anyone can edit, view and monitor, then anyone in the project, whoever is having access to Oracle integration instance based on their application role which is set up at the integration instance level in the OCI, they will be allowed to access this project. Suppose if someone is administrator, they will be able to come over here, or if they are having the developer role, they will be able to edit. If someone is having the service user, they will be able to monitor. I will create one connection over here under the common components. First, I will go and create the REST. I will go to REST and I will name this as REST trigger con. And you have to check mark share with other projects. So this is the important thing when you are trying to share the connection. I will tell create a trigger REST connection with the name REST trigger con and share with all the projects. Here I will add or basic, because you might create some integrations which meant to be used basic authentication and few you can use based on the OR 2.0. I will select both and click on test and I will click on save. I will save this name of the connection in the notepad over here. I will go back. Done. We have created one connection with the name REST trigger con. I will create one more connection over here, that is the Fusion ERP connection. I will click on create. Here I will name this as Fusion ERP con, and I will make this as trigger and invoke, and also I will mark this as share with other projects. All the components like the connections, integrations, what you create in the common components, we have to mark it as share with other projects, because all the components we are adding as part of common components are meant to be shared with other projects. I will mark this as trigger and invoke role, because few of the integrations, when they are using this connection, they can use it as trigger and some as invoke. Here I will quickly populate the details. I have added the details over here. I will click on test. Our connection tested successfully. I will click on save. Then let me go back. Similar like connections, if you want to share the integrations or lookups, library or the events between other projects, then you have to add it over here. You might come across a scenario wherein you have to create common integration, like to send the error notification or to log the message in some database like this, which are common use cases. Uploading the file to UCM or downloading the file from UCM, all those are common integrations which you can put in the common components project, similar like how we do for the connections. Once done, let's come back. Now we have created a common components project in our integration instance, and we will be adding all the common components over here like the connections, integrations. In this case, we have created the connection which are meant to be shared by other projects. Now I will go to other project, that is first project. Here, how we can consume the connections which are in common components is, suppose if you are creating this project, then you will be expecting one connection, that is the ERP connection, to be available over here in the project. I will click on this ERP connection. Now this time we don't have to share this with other projects, but we will name this as, you might be having some convention for your project to be followed, that you can name it over here, and we can just click on this create. Now instead of filling all the details over here, configure a connection, what we can do is we can search for our connection. Our connection name was ERP, that is Fusion ERP con. and we have to select the one which is under the common components project. So it will list over here all the connections which are having ERP in their name, and you can see if they are part of common components, then we can select that. Then we can save. So this first project ERP connection acts as a wrapper connection around our main connection, that is Fusion ERP connection. So like this, we can create a common connection in the common components project, and we can use it over here. Just you have to refer that particular connection under the shared connections. So similar like that, we can even override this connection which we have used. Instead of configuring a connection, we can search over here with the REST keyword. So there is one REST trigger connection under the common components. Use that. We can save. We can go back. Now both the connections are using the common components connection under the state connection. So we don't have any information locally stored over here. Now the main advantage of doing this is, suppose in future if the credentials get changed, you can change the connection details over here in the common components. You can go over here. Suppose if the password gets changed for the ERP connection, or authentication methods get changed, something gets changed, then you can just come over here and you can change the details over here. Now one more thing what you have to make sure is, you have to move every time the common components project to your target instance while migrating. So this should be a first step. Then you have to migrate your other projects which are depending on this common components project. Like here in the case of first project, so we are making use of those connections. In this project, those integrations are making use of connection that is REST trigger currently, and one more connection is there, but I'm not using within the integration, so it's not showing in the tree. And this connection is again making use of the shared connection which are creating in common components. So common components project should be migrated first, then the first project. Similar like first project, you can have n number of projects in your integration instance which can use the connections, integrations, libraries, lookup which you have created in the common components as a shared resources.